morning, and hello to everyone who is watching. I am here bright and early because the Asian Le Mans Series is back for another season of quality endurance racing. So we are live from China. This is the Agile 4 hours of Shanghai. Now the weather is looking a bit foggy. I'm starting to feel a bit cold, but that's not going to stop us. The race will definitely continue, and we've got our fingers crossed, hoping that the fog will clear out pretty soon. Now joining me together in the commentary box, we are very happy once again to be having Graham Goodwin with us and also Jeevan Selvanathan.
Yes, Nadia, it is good to see you. If you can, of course, use that term, good to see you. My name is Jeevan Selvanathan. I'm sitting in the commentary box. I will be joined later on by Graham Goodwin, and everything that Nadia said is absolutely bang on. It is the start of the 2018-2019 Asian Le Mans season. As you can see, we've got about 16 minutes to our first race of the season. Those 4 FIA Grade 1 circuits starts with the Shanghai International Circuit. Plenty of motorsports action in the pit lane. Nadia will have all of the interviews, and that's where we're going to go right now.
We've got 27 cars on the grid. It is huge. Yes, but besides the quantity, what is the quality of that grid? So that is actually more impressive than anything. And let's dive into that a bit, how impressive this particular grid is. We've got the editor of dailysportscar.com, also one of our commentators, Graham Goodwin. Let's introduce him. Hi.
Good morning, Nadia, and good morning, everybody. Well, it's a lot sunnier now than it was just 20 minutes ago when we had thick fog here at the SAIC International Circuit in Shanghai. This race is going to get going, and it's going to get going on time. Yeah. Very excited. Yes. Champions somewhere in just about all of them. Whether or not that is world champions, we have 3 of them. Whether or not it's European champions, there's Andrea, Asian Le Mans Series champions, or winners of some of the great endurance races around the world. I'm really stoked for this one.
We have the president of Agile Property Group and chairman of Agile Commercial Management Group, Mr. Wang Haiyang, with us. Wang 先生，你好。
你好，女士们、先生们，很高兴今天与大家相聚在上海，一起见证由雅居乐冠名赞助的2018到2019亚洲勒芒系列赛上海站的开幕。勒芒系列赛是世界3大顶级汽车赛事之一，勒芒精神所倡导的耐力、激情、梦想，与雅居乐一直提倡的一生乐活的品牌理念不谋而合。最后，预祝2018到2019亚洲勒芒系列赛上海站取得圆满成功。谢谢大家。
Now, 5.5451 kilometers, 16 turns, 9 rights, 7 lefts. Graham, what do you make of it?
What I make of it is it's really tricky. That turn 1, 2, 3, 4 combination is where you're going to start to see some potential for either overtaking or a bit of chaos in the early laps. Then it opens out through turns 4, 5 into 6. Then a really tricky turn. Turn 7 catches people out, looks really open there on that track map, doesn't it? Flows though through into turn 8, slows down again turn 9, 10, 12, 13, 11, 12, 13 is where you're starting to get to position yourself for the best catapult out onto that astounding back straight, and then the hairpin and the tight left to finish.
Now, this is the pole-sitting car, as we saw from Pippo Durrani. Fantastic performance. We've seen some fast laps. Everyone was coming down to 155, 156 in the end.
Absolutely, and it's going to be Alexander West to start that car. Phil Hansen aboard the 22 United Autosports Ligier. He's going to take us around a fast lap of this Shanghai International Circuit right now.
Hi, I'm Phil Hansen. Welcome on board with me around the Shanghai International Circuit for the first round of the Asian Le Mans Series. So as we go down the straight into turn 1, you'll notice it's you can see the apex, but as you begin to brake for it and go round, you drift wide. It's called corner number 2, but it's all like one long sweeping corner. You get back on power for a short period of time before you get down for the apex of turn 3, a change in elevation as you're then trying to get back on power, as you see a bit of oversteer, as I'm trying to lay down all the power before a short rush down into turn 6, which is another crucial braking zone, into a first gear tight right-hander. So I'm coming down into first now, and it's also quite important to get a good exit out of here, get on the power quite quickly, which gives you a good entry into turn 7 and 8, which are the quickest corners on track. Again, just lifting off there and then braking into corner 8, getting down into third, staying towards the right to set up corner 9 and 10. again on power, and you can see it's quite tricky when you're on the power. A lot of oversteer, a lot of snap. Using a bit of the exit curb there on the exit of turn 10 as we go into down the straight towards turn 11. Again, another heavy braking zone into first gear. A short power application back before turn 12 like we were in turn 1. And turn 13 is probably one of the most crucial corners on the track. It's really long, and it starts your run onto the back straight, which is I think over 1 kilometre long, so if you get a bad exit it's quite important. Again, with the car being set up so with a lot of oversteer, it's really important to get a good exit. As we then go back into turn 14, which is probably the heaviest braking zone on circuit, into first gear, and again really important to get a really clean exit on power. A little bit of oversteer there, but nothing major. As we then go up the hill a little bit into elevation for turn 16, which is the last corner, trying to carry a lot of minimum speed to set up another good lap and hopefully get a reasonable time. I hope you enjoyed the lap with me around Shanghai, and hope you look forward to the race.
Well, there are so many in LMP2, as you can see. LMP3, LMP2 now with a much more expanded grid. Jasmine Jafar, Guy Cosmo, Matthew LaHaye, the first of the LaHaye brothers, Mark Patterson and Miro Konopka starting for ARC Bratislava there. Komo Ledegar, of course, was also very fast in free practice. Pipo Derani's teammate.
Keen to see how Alexander West actually copes with his first start in an LMP2 car, being trusted with the start. This is the LMP3 grid, and we're up to 10 cars for this one this year. Into Europol, Polish flag team, and Jakub Śmiechowski, little horse this morning. Putting in a pole position lap, I think surprised himself as well as everybody else, but that's great news for them. Then we get into the GTs, where there have been dramas through the week here, and great news for the hard-charging Tianchi racing team. Dries van Teur putting the number 88 Audi onto pole position, 17th on the grid, and leading out that 5-car group. We've also, of course, got the Porsche Endurance Cup teams, 4 cars in that group, and Benny Simonson putting the Modern Motorsport car on pole position for that group. 27 cars, 4 hours, sunshine is coming. What could be better?
3-kilometer wind. Of course, the fog now has just been taken off that. It was 100% fog just about 20 minutes ago, and 76% humidity as well. That's probably been greatly influenced by that fog.
Alexander West is able to control this field. He measures the pace, and they'll wait to see those red lights come on, and they'll wait to see the red lights go off, and then we'll be underway with the Agile 4 Hours of Shanghai, the opening race, and they go. Opening race of the season, and immediately Andrea Pizzitolo has taken the lead. He gets by the number 8 car, also going by. I think that is Phil Hansen looking to go around the outside. And around goes Alexander West at turn 1, so it's happened immediately. Alexander West, I'm sure, was looking in his mirrors. He's got the car going again. Falls right back to the back of the field, and also looking to make up ground. But James Collado, I think he was, taking the lead in GT and going by a couple of the LMP3 cars in the process. Tippy-toe stuff with cold tyres here, but it is Pizzitola leads the race from Wirren Tan, I think it is, up into second place.
Well, we're going to have to wait till they get to the end of this lap, of course, before we can really see who is. I can see a couple of GT cars that have made a pretty lightning start as well. One of the Ferraris has made it up there. But yes, tippy-toe has been the term since the start of the program. And as we saw it for Alexander West, well, kind of slipped off those toes a bit.
Great start too from some of those LMP3 cars. It is Matt Bell in the number 3 United Autosports cars, leads a United 1-2 in the LMP3 class from Gerrit Grist to the number 2 car. It's the 3 from the 2 United Autosports. Then Nigel Moore, the Vipanita Racing 65 Ligier, and then the 38 Jackie Chan DC Racing Ligier in the hands of Hugo de Sadelier. In the GT class, meanwhile, it was Takeshi Kimura that took the start, and he's made a great start to 14th overall. He leads the GT class ahead of Chen Wei An in the number 88 Tianchi Racing Audi, and then it is the Spirit of Race car in the hands of Francesco Piavanetta.
So right now, in terms of timing, there is the big battle up front. Andrea Pizzitola and Wirren Tan, just 1.4 seconds between them. Some 5 seconds behind them is Jean-Baptiste Lehane from Panis Barthez competition. Pretty much having a huge battle with Patrick Byrne from United Autosports. Good start from UA.
Watching now as Alexander West starts to try to pick off the GT cars. He's made it back up from 27th, where he recovered, back up to 23rd now. His next target is going to be the 51 Spirit of Race car, so he's 22nd now, and it is Francesco Pianovetti in that car. They're under pressure as we look again at the starts and keep an eye on the 8 car. That's the car closest to the pit wall on the front row. Had lost the lead by turn 1, but then what happened for Alexander West? Tried to go wide here, then cuts in, and there was not, I don't think, was there? There was contact with 2 cars going around, but that was what happened with Phil Hansen. I'd missed the fact that Phil had been tagged there. I was rather focused on the 8, but that's what was, it was Phil Hansen and the number 8 car with contact. This is the P2 car, Phil Hansen, coming back by the number 3 car, Matt Bell, who is not now leading LMP3 because in the move that took ARC Bratislava's Ligier through, Nigel Moore has taken the lead. He's 5th overall at the moment, but Phil Hansen's going to be with him pretty quickly in this. And we got just looking there at the AMG GT3. There's a story to be told about the 66 car, looking for a way around the 51 car. Looks to the outside, looks to the inside. That's not quite going to work there. Very eye-catching car.
Well, that long bonnet almost tried to get half a car length into turn 1. Didn't have to pull off in the end.
This is flat 6 Porsche, plays V12
I think
Aston Martin Vantage.
Both of them are just, you know, startlingly spectacular cars. Having a great battle on there. Of course, if TF Motorsport, well known, Red River Motorsport as well. But if you didn't know about them, they are really, really experienced, having competed in the 24-hour Le Mans some 11 times. That was Johnny Molam, right?
Getting the wheel onto the curbs.
Well, let's just get that, looking at the entire timeline right now in LMP2, of course, Weiren Tan has taken the lead and is now 8 seconds ahead of Jean-Baptiste Lahey. That is actually a bit of a change. That's the trouble
why.
there. That's
Andrea
why.
Pizzitola looks like he's out the race. That's the leader, and he's out of the race at pit exits. Walks away from the car, and that is real drama very early on, within 20 minutes of the start of this race. And what you have to say is it's a squad that you would have thought would be title contenders, and that is disaster for the 24 car. I was just looking as to why we'd seen Pizzitola drop down the order at the end of that lap. That is the reason why. Into the lead, meanwhile, by the way, Weiren Tan. But the drama surrounds the 24 car, Algar Pro Racing, with their European Le Mans Series champion, Andrea Pizzitola, is done.
And now, of course, there it is, confirmation of the full course yellow. All cars will be getting down to FCY speeds. As you can see, they're clearing away that tragic story, really. For
terrible this early in the race, this early in the season, and that will not be a pleasant garage to be in. This is the Algar Pro team.
Yeah, and having a good look around that Judd engine.
Team manager Stuart Cox at the far end of the car there, taking a good look as to what's going on. I think that's some pretty glum faces. We're back to green though.
Oh, great.
We'll talk about that in a moment. Back to green with 35 minutes gone. Let's keep this neat and tidy, boys and girls. Oh, big look up there. Now, was that Philip Hansen getting to the rear of the ARC Bratislava car? Well,
we did say there was going to be a few problems as the cars got back up to racing speed. That happened at the entry into turn 1, and it was ARC Bratislava just slightly caught up. But it looks like Lin Kang has managed to hold that position. But now he's under pressure from United Autosports.
Great to see a replay of that in due course once this has sorted itself out. But Lin Kang has come out of that still on top.
Yeah, did very well there, the Chinese driver, to... Well, there's a spin.
There's a spin from one of the Ikuria Kos cars.
Oh, and that,
I think, it's another car off. That is another... That's the Panis Barthez car, I think, that's off. So it got very messy indeed. That car that had just pitted, the 35 car, gets the car turned back around and away. But that's going to be costly.
Well, now we have to ask, of course, with these, that's 3 incidents that happened as we've come off the full course yellow. There's the replay.
It was what happened there. I can see it more clearly this time. That was actually the ARC Bratislava car locked up first. That got Phil Hansen almost into the back of the car. So the initial error was from the 4 car, not from the 22. And I wonder whether or not there was contact. There was trouble in the meantime. That's where Phil Hansen got through. Look at the green and black car to the inside. He goes through, threads the needle between the 2 GT cars.
Yeah.
That was a magnificent run from Nigel Moore at the green. Then we got to the point, that was the 25 car, Mark Patterson, impacting on the Ikuria Kos Nielsen cars.
It looks like a double contact. There was the first there, and then as he spins out, you just see he might just clip it now. Well, all sorts of action happening all around this Shanghai International Circuit. If you've just joined us, this is the opening round of the 2018-2019 Agile Le Mans Series.
There is the 25 car. Oh,
whoa, that's
the team pushing the car into position for a better position for fueling. They are going to have a driver change. Mark Patterson is getting out of the car. And, a European Le Mans Series title winner fairly recently with Ram Racing and their Ferrari up the inside. And that is a lap up by the Jiangxi Racing team on the TF Sport Aston Martin. Johnny Molan, new era in his career with his Red River Sports operation, looking after the careers of Bon Grimes and Ivor Dunbar, amongst others.
So, 40-minute stint from Bon Grimes to kick it off.
Absolutely. Well, that'll do for the moment. Now, Johnny Molan having a bit of a nibble there to see whether or not there might be an opportunity with the Powerless V12. Looks to the outside, looks to the inside, looks over the top. That's not going to work, Johnny. So he's going to try to stay with the GT leader, try to regain that lap if he possibly can. And this is the number 16 car.
Benny Simonson.
Benny Simonson is in 17th position. I'm just trying to see just exactly. He has almost a lap on the rest of that field. And that comes courtesy, it's something like, let me see, 2 minutes. And that comes courtesy of that safety car. So it's going to require some dramas for the motorsport team.
Let's go down to Nadia, who is with Mark Patterson.
All right, we are at Algarve Pro. Thank you so much. I should be standing on a step stool right here. Mark Patterson with us. You just got out of the car. How was your stint? Was the fog, visibility still okay?
The fog was a problem in your head when you get here. By the time we started, perfect. But it left very greasy water on the track. So you saw the start, cars spinning. That's just because there's no grip for 2 or 3 laps. I had to duck inside to miss the spinning cars, and I lost 2 or 3 places to LM3. Not so good, but we came back just fine.
Oh, so we've got trouble with number 12 car. We'll just kick off
now
on
that's
that one.
Alabama's Motorsports Jeffrey Chiang that is out at a very odd position.
He's beached as well. Now, how did
he's
that
just spinning
happen?
his rims right now.
He's in the gravel. So that might require a bit of an intervention. 52 minutes now into the race. Phil Hansen, by the way, goes through to second place as into the pits comes Lin Kang. And that will be the first regular stop for the ASC Bratislava team. Have to say,
I think they'll be happy with that.
I think you'd be delighted with that. There's an excellent start to their race. Yes, assisted by some dramas with some of the other cars, including this one. First from second. And the Lin Kang, I think, has come back out in that number 4 car. We'll see where he ends up in the order as things actually pan through this lap.
It is one of the Jackie Chan. It's Weir and Tan, our leader, out the front.
Leader pits the car. This will be their first.
Which means Philip Hansen should be going through to take the lead. United Autosports now with the prime position in that top 6.
Unless he's due into the pits as well, but I think he's gone through to take the lead. He has. So Philip Hansen leads the race. Nigel Moore again in second for Viper Racing. Will be able to go longer than these P2 cars.
Yeah, it looks like very slow exit from Weir and Tan.
Quick stall there of the number 1 car. So we've got Douglas Koo to come, remember, in the Viper Racing, who is significantly less pacey than the professional driver Nigel Moore, remember. But he'll be delighted to be taking over a car.
Exactly, in 3rd spot.
Well, it'll be second. It'll be second
that's right,
by the time we get through here. So it will be United Autosports leading this race for the first time. The hands of Philip Hansen. So Hansen, Moore, Byrne, Matt Bell, Garrett Grist, Colin Noble.
So let's have a look back now at the first hour.
The foggy conditions at the start of the race. Drama at the start, though. A clash between Philip Hansen and Alexander West in the Spirit of Race and United Autosports Ligiers. That allowed all sorts of dramas beyond, with cars taking advantage. It was drama too in the GT class. Topsy-turvy stuff with some of the gentleman drivers being caught out a little by the conditions. Zouwei there in the latecomer to this grid, the AMG GT3. Bon Grimes and the number 88 GT leading Audi in the mix too. LMP3 though dominated by this man, Nigel Moore. He was up to 3rd position overall in the early running. Another clash there. Mark Patterson with the 79 car, I think it was, from Ikuri Kost-Nielsen. Those two coming together in the midfield. Viper Nisa Racing in the mix, letting the LMP2 traffic go when it came. 23 and 35, 35 and 23. Position changes all around the circuit in tricky opening conditions. The sunshine though is coming, and so too is the race. Algar Pro in the garage. Trouble there as we went back to green, with both cars chasing the leader, getting stuck in. And a little bit of outbraking from the ARC Bratislava car. They've done extremely well in this first part of the race, almost seeing Phil Hansen get into the back of the car.
And if you have just joined us, this is the opening round of the 2018-2019 Agile Le Mans Series from the Shanghai International Circuit. My name is Jeevan Selvanathan, and Graham Goodwin in the commentary box with me as we now focus in on the very important and significant portion of this race, hour 2 and hour 3. Now that is the leader in the GT class right now, Chen Wei-An from the Tianqi Racing team.
And driver change going on there as well.
Which means that it should be either Zhang Yaqi or Dries van Tor.
No, if it's Dries van Tor, you're going to see some fireworks, because Dries van Tor, a very, very quick young driver indeed. Just some attention going on there into the cockpit and getting the driver secured. Fire at the rear of that car. Just a lick of flame from the rear of that car.
Well, I think that was not just the first time that we've seen.
No, I think that was just a drop of fuel from the fuel fill onto the hot exhaust. I don't think that was a major fire. That was just a bit of a fuel spillage. It only takes a drop or two onto that hot exhaust and you get a lick of flame. Meantime,
look at this.
This is a great battle. This is the battle for third position overall at the moment and second in LMP3. Garrett Grist, Matt Bell, Colin Noble. These three men know each other very well indeed. They've been contenders all season in European Le Mans Series racing and Michelin Le Mans Cup. And it's just a little bit like Formula Deja Vu for them.
Yeah.
But guys, this isn't Monza, this isn't Spa, this is Shanghai, and this is all a little bit different. So with Nigel Moore still leading the race overall, no, you didn't hear that wrong, an LMP3 car, that LMP3 car, leading the race overall.
By 12 seconds,
yep,
no less.
The battle behind between those three cars is for second position in LMP3 and third position overall.
So as we look at the GT class, let's get down to the pits with Nadia, who is with Tianqi Racing and is going to be chatting to Chen Wei-An.
Wei-An Chan with us. You just got out of the car. How was your run?
I would say the stint was quite good. At the beginning, we had some LMPs, amateur driver was driving, so we had some blocking, but I think I'm very happy with my stint. I was doing a very good pace, so overall it's good.
That's good to hear. Yeah, you finished at top spot for GT when you left, but when you got off the car just now, it took a while for the car to head back out. Do you know what happened?
I'm not so sure. I didn't see, but I think we just ran into some problem, which honestly we had some really bad luck so far this race. We nailed the qualifier, so we had a comeback. Hopefully we can do the same for the race.
And great to hear from David there.
Absolutely, Wei-An, known as David Chen, and not as opposed to David Cheng, by the way.
Yes.
But that's very confusing for people watching this. But still another drama there, by the way, for his teammates in the number 88 car. Bit of a coming together, albeit mild, with the number 25 car, Chris McMurray. That's all sorted, and the cars are both away with little further problem. But I think he's about to lose a place to that number 11 car, Guy Ferrari. They're going wheel to wheel here. This is, remember, for position 3 in GT. Round the outside goes to Ferrari.
Side by side going through that slew of corners. That's turn 8, 9, and who's going to take the lead here?
It's going to be the 88 car, I think, tops it out with this left-hand turn. He's got the right line there. Don't turn in.
Neither of them are conceding that line, and that's bound to happen. A little bit of a chip just at the bottom of your screen.
There was a little bit of contact, I think, there, rear to front, and that gave him a wild moment. That Ferrari is going to be away and clear.
So looking at a replay here of that maneuver, and as you can see, side by side, coming through turns 8, 9, and 10. Either of these drivers looking to concede the line. Bit of contact. Matt looks to have come out of that. All right, a little bit of a shimmy. I think that was actually exiting the corner. That was the real problem.
We've seen a couple of driver changes in these cars through testing this week. The 37 car coming down the hill ahead of one of the United Autosports cars. And there is the 2 car. That car pits with Garrett Grist. Garrett's had a cracking run in the first stint of this race. It will be a driver change for that team. That may well be Garrett has done all he needs to do. Canadian driver steps away. 36 car into shot there from Eurasia Motorsports. Nobuya Yamanaka been doing plenty of testing aboard this pretty 36 car from Mark Goddard's squad. Team working hard to do what they can to bolster the efforts for this season. Aidan Reid still to come in that car. Oh, the wheels come off. That's the 1 car.
That's Weir and Tan's car, and
wheel off.
We saw it right there. Now that's got to be a pit stop. That's got to be a faulty wheel nut, perhaps, off the pit stop.
Well,
there was no contact.
There was no contact. The whole wheel came off. Is the wheel nut still on that car?
Well, that is going to be seriously investigated by Jackie Chan DC Racing for sure. Weir and Tan and the Malaysian team are in some deep trouble. Let's have a look at that again. Here he is coming out of turn 16 and
bang.
Bang, it just slipped off. Now, very lucky that tyre didn't hit another car.
See that slow motion again. Now, do we see a wheel nut go? We don't.
That is the wheel nut there.
The wheel nut came off.
So it is going to be coming down to that pit stop, and that was obviously the hydraulic pump did not put that wheel nut on.
Well, David Cheng, he's down with Jackie Chan DC Racing in the pits with Nadia.
Yes, we are with David Cheng. We are at the Jackie Chan DC Racing garage. I do not like to be meeting you under these circumstances. We all saw what happened to car number 1. We want to hear your take on it.
Yeah, well, I think quite obvious what we saw on TV. Now that the car is getting recovered, we'll have an extensive check to see if it was mechanical failure or if it was a human error when we were doing our pit stop. And as it was that far into the stint, really unfortunate to lose the car in such a dominant position because we were leading quite comfortably, but this is motorsports, we're always pushing to the limit. So something we really need to get onto, have a look and see what was the cause and fix it for our next time out.
So racing speeds up again, and that must have been, a number of yellows that we've seen already.
So that's the 22 car. Philip
Hansen and Sally Yoluk.
Sally Yoluk is just looking where he is in the queue. He's 4th in that queue. That is 1-2 overall now for United Autosports. Their Pro Am car, 22, ahead of their Am car, 23. Sally Yoluk, Turkish driver, at the wheel. And what a spectacular array of machinery Sally's going to be in charge of the next couple of weeks. Last weekend in the TF Sport GTE Am Aston Martin LMP2 here is in a GT3 car, an AMG Mercedes next weekend in Bahrain, then back into this car when we get to Japan in just a couple of weeks' time. They are the 3 cars battling. Here comes Comnadagar. He's looking to get by both LMP3 cars
in one
That's
go,
a great shot, 3 wide there. But meantime, there's the battle for the lead LMP3 behind them, because up the inside there, is he going to get that move done? Wayne Boyd takes advantage of the P2 car being there. Comnadagar can't hold it there. The 2 P3 cars trying to do him again, but he's got the line, I think, for the final turn. Wayne Boyd takes advantage of Comnadagar's move, but Colin Noble isn't going to give this one up. No. What's going to happen into turn 1? He managed to do it last time. He had the better line, I think, through the final turn. Let's see where he's going to duck out here.
This time he's not got
time he's not got the Malaysian car to help him. Can't make it around the outside. Will try to do the cut back here. Hasn't got the space to do it. Wayne Boyd has made that one stick. Great stuff from these 2 LMP3 guys.
He's having a great couple of laps, Colin Noble, right now. Whether he's in front or behind has to be said, but you're right. Just tried on the inside the previous lap, tried on the outside that lap, and has now had to settle in behind.
21 and 59.
Porsche Endurance Trophy.
That is a change for second position in the Porsche Endurance Trophy. The 21 goes ahead.
And that's Aidan Reid just trying to cut in on the inside to get past both those Porsches at once. Doesn't get the run in into that corner and is bound to go past now, I would have thought, on the straight.
They are the reigning LMP3 champions. If you guys remember Guy Cosmo and Patrick Byrne from last season, now they're back, but this time with an LMP2. It's your first time in a P2. You started, now you're with United Autosports. Tell us about your stint out there.
Yep, first time LMP2, first time in Shanghai, having a great time here. The start was great. There was a collision with our sister car that they got wound up in. We ended up into third place. We're having a great time. It's a good race, and yeah, hopefully we're hoping for the best. Sally's in the car now, and then Guy's going to go in and just annihilate it. So yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Annihilating, huh? But I interviewed a couple of the drivers that started, and they're all talking about how wet and slippery the track was. Was it the same for you?
Yeah, very much so. It was very inconsistent. There was dry spots, big puddles that all of a sudden the car would just bite and spin. And he went over from the lap before, and it wasn't too bad. So inconsistency's awful, but it's drying out now, so the guys should have a good time.
And once again, as you'll see in the hourly highlights that are just under 5 minutes away now, the big news, of course, 2 Jackie Chan DC Racing teams, one in the pit, one pretty much out the race. We're not expecting to see Wei Chao-yin come back in either. And of course, add that to Algarve Pro Racing and Andrea Pizzitola. And those are 3 big names that are already out of this Agile 4 hours of Shanghai.
We're into the second half of the race. Let's look back at the action in the last hour. Tianqi Racing, quick fire at the rear of that car. That cost them the lead in GT. And then wheel-to-wheel action with the car Guy Ferrari as the 488 managed to move ahead of the R8. 16, the Modena Motorsports Porsche making hay after the safety car and picking up almost a full lap. 11 car Guy Ferrari led the class for a short while. Into the garage though, and trouble for the number 38 Jackie Chan DC Racing car, and then fabulous LMP3 action for third overall between Wayne Boyd and Colin Noble. In the United Autosports and the Kyrgios Nielsen Ligiers, the pair of them swapping positions, all done very cleanly. Some fantastic close wheel-to-wheel racing, diving for the apex, not there Colin, but then taking the position at the next corner. Next time around though, Wayne Boyd got that back. Colin Noble still looking to see what he could do about regaining the place, but Wayne Boyd it is that goes ahead in LMP3 towards the end of that hour and is pulling it away. Good news for United Autosports. The real drama of the hour though was this one, wheel nut and then the wheel. That eliminated the then race leading Jackie Chan DC Racing Orica. Watch the little grey dot depart stage right. There you go. There's the wheel. There's the wheel nut, rather, the wheel and tyre. And that put Weir and Tan out of the lead and out of the race. 23 car, Sally Yollock now aboard what is the LMP2 AM leading car and second overall for the moment. 22 car was leading into the top of the hour but has just pitted as we're talking. Phil Hansen, great stint from him and a great recovery drive after problems in turn 1.
Now in the mix here with United Autosports.
Yeah, but these 3 cars all on different laps, astonishingly. The middle car here, I thought it's the 2 car, and I think it is.
I think it might be.
It is the lead car in the class. That is Wayne Boyd, who sits second overall to the Spirit of Race car of Comledigar. And that is the 37 car from Jackie Chan DC Racing. That car is sitting 13th, 7th in class. Then the 13 car is sitting, actually is ahead of that car. 59 car is
in the pits.
Now remember, these are not endurance racing cars, so they're not fitted with the quick fill. They're not made for kind of quick fuel tank fill. This is a sprint racing car. Great to have them here, but bonnet up.
Yeah, it's the conventional way of
absolutely very
getting
much more
that petrol
conventional.
in.
So this is about a race within a race.
And that is always a great view looking down that massive backstretch.
That's the change. That's the change for second position. 22 now ahead of 2.
Philip Hansen taking the second spot over Wayne Boyd.
Yeah, and that will not be resisted, of course. There you go.
There are the fans here at the Shanghai International Circuit here for the first round of the Asian Le Mans Series 2018-2019, the Agile 4 Hours of Shanghai.
And that is the race leader. Com Ledegar comes in. Wayne Boyd, by the way, is also in from third position, leading LMP3.
So
his gap, by the way, in LMP3 is pretty substantial. So Wayne Boyd,
a significant stop for Spirit of Race, and it's a good change. That would be Pippo Durrani coming on board. So now we should see some blistering laps.
Well, Com took that car to the lead. Alexander West, a great recovery drive from the Swedish driver.
That's true.
Remember, his first ever start in a P2 race. Contact at turn 1.
Lap 1,
was deemed a racing incident by the look of things, but good recovery drive by Alexander. Then a great run to the front from Com Ledegar. And now, I think we're about to see the Brazilian pocket rocket that is Pippo Durrani do what he does best.
Pippo qualifying Durrani, as I termed him yesterday, only because he does manage to put in some incredible times. Let's just see what he can do in this car, and we all know that it is going to be fast. Now, what's he working with in terms of timing? Well, he's going into that pit stop, he was 44 seconds ahead. And now, let's get down to Nadia with Spirit of Race in the pits.
We are with the car that started at the front of the grid today, and this guy right here, Com Ledegar, just got out of the car. And how was your stint in there?
I went out, so we used the strategy thing to get out in the right time, to do the pit stop in the right time with the full Cosiello and everything. But then in the end, I went out during a full Cosiello and a safety car procedure, so it was difficult to warm up the tires. But in the end, we managed to do the laps to pass the traffic, and then we had a perfect car. To be honest, it was really easy for me to drive it, so thanks to them.
So here we go. Slew of cars coming through turn 15.
This is all about whether or not Pippo Durrani can actually get anywhere.
Well, that's a bit of a wobble there from Viper Nisa.
Just taking the position, I think just a bit of an outbraking manoeuvre there. This is the fourth place car now with Anders Fjordbach, I suspect, has just pitted the 25 car. But Darren Burke up into fourth, second in LMP2 AM. Not pitted it, it's just not shown it on timing again. There's a glitch on that car, I'm afraid. But
it's been a transponder.
But the change has come. He is ahead of Fjordbach. So Darren Burke moves up to second in LMP2 AM, that is fourth overall. And remember, the battle between the number 4 car, that number 25 car, and indeed the car that leads the class at the moment, 23.
So Aidan Reid effectively picks up a 10-second stop-and-go penalty for that full course yellow infringement that we talked about earlier. And Graham, that gap between Pippo Durrani and Philip Hansen down now to 17.7 seconds.
It is, and it's. I wonder if actually we're now getting into the outer operating limits of the Michelins in each corner of this 22 car. Wouldn't be at all surprised. They are trying to stretch this. Remember, the longer he stays out, the less the splash at the end of this race is going to be. In comes Bon Grimes, and there goes Johnny Molan.
And this was the last stint that he was talking about to Nadia. Now let's have a look back at the last hour.
Well, mercifully, less a real drama. The 16 car continues on in the lead of the Porsche Endurance Trophy with Philippe Descombe and Benny Simonson putting the Modern Motorsport car to the front. It's been a tussle in the midfield in the GT class with the Audi, the 88, the 51 car from Spirit of Race, testing the minor places. 22 car of Phil Hansen drove to the front as others faltered. He's kept it there to the point where he's handed over the United Autosports lead car to his teammate Paul Di Resta. It's a colourful field in the Agile Le Mans series, perhaps not more colourful than the Inter-Europol squad. The Norwich City car in the mix here, green, the yellow, the Polish team making friends in China. But it's all been about United Autosports. Chris Buncombe now aboard the car. And, well, coming up through the field as part of that recovery drive, Alexander West there sitting at the front of the garage, but it's been Pippo Durrani on track. And Pippo now takes the lead of the race as we're going to be coming back to live with the 22 car having pitted. He's been niggling away at the lead of United Autosports after the Brazilian got aboard after a great stint from Comledegar. The final part of the hour has been about Phil Hansen fending off the Brazilian. He did that very well indeed, but finally the Michelins have decided that's enough action for this set of 4. Let's go and give the rapid ex-Formula 1 Scott a chance on some new rubber aboard the 22 car.
Still Chris Buncombe leading the LMP3 class from United Autosports in 6th. Anthony Wells in 2nd in that class. Martin Hipper from Inter Europol in 3rd. And Aidan Reid in 4th.
Absolutely, some quick lap times coming at the moment. Track conditions seem to be pretty good. We had that lap in the 1:57s from Paul de Resta, but quickest lap of his race, or the car's race, from Christian Olsen, who is trying to attack Aidan Reid. He's over a minute up the road, but the Eurasia car has had its ups and downs, and I think there's a sniff that they won't want to put that one under pressure. Also the quickest lap of the race so far for the Aston Martin. Not surprised that it's Johnny Molam aboard that car, 2:07.692. So Johnny is not going to give up that second place without one hell of a fight. He's got a minute's advantage over Max Visa. He's 20 seconds back from Alessandro Pierguidi.
Now let's get down to the pits where Nadia is talking to the Courier Cost team.
The guy behind the wheel in car number 79. We've got Colin Noble with us from Accurate Cost. You told me you were in the car for a 2.5 hour stint. How do you do that? How was the track conditions?
Yeah, we started off well. I got boxed in a little bit at the start, so I dropped back, but made my way back up. And after the first safety car, we're sitting on the kind of 2nd and 3rd. When we went back out, I got hit by P2 after the restart was on, so I spun and went back down order. But we had really good pace. We made it back up to 2nd, eventually got into the lead. And when I came in for my first stop, and second hour was tough. I was just double stinting tyres, so we're fighting people on new rubber. So it was tough, but yeah, we're pretty happy with the pace.
That's a team you're going to be hearing a lot more about. Ikuriakos, of course, a famous name in motorsport. Le Mans wins in the 1950s, and this partnership with Nielsen Racing under Sven Thompson is producing real results. A cracking little team with what these Ligiers at their disposal. Basically, it's a little bit like the kind of, well, the Scottish Invaders.
Now, if we could get a shot of what's happening in the pits with Pippo, we see exactly how that pit stop is going.
Absolutely.
There he is.
ARC Bratislava, and I think that's been a race behind, so we'll keep an eye on when that car is released. It looks pretty standard stuff at the moment, so I'll bring you a little bit of updates on what's going on in the GT class, where we've seen a significant change.
Miro Konopka from ARC Bratislava. So you got out of the car. Who is it? Darren Burke is in the car right now.
Yes,
how is
Darren.
the team doing? You guys are quite high up there.
Yeah, I think Darren ran very good, and for this moment, the race is very good for us.
A great way to open the season. What do you think about the Shanghai circuit?
Yeah, first time I am here. Very interesting circuit. Very nice, very modern. It's a better like Shanghai.
In the open road racing, it is the Porsche Francis Tejia who is currently leading that Porsche Endurance Trophy. Philippe Descombe, who was the leader after a great changeover with Benny Simonson. That Modena Motorsports Porsche 911 GT3 is now in 2nd spot in the Porsche Endurance Trophy. Well, talking of endurance, the top 4 cars have now broken 100 laps.
Yep.
All the rest on 102 laps.
Martin Hipper is pulling away from Chris Buncombe and pulling away reasonably comfortably. 2:03 last time out from the German driver. Chris Buncombe, 2:07. And this is looking very good indeed now for the Inter Europol team.
Well, he's one clear lap by the looks of it, ahead of, about 30 seconds ahead of Chris Buncombe in 2nd spot in the LMP3 class.
Well, there you go. That is the 2nd place car overall. Pipo Derani goes by the 1st place car in LMP3, and 7th overall, the number 13 Inter Europol car. And is this going to be back-to-back race victories, international racing for Inter Europol? There on pit lane
is that splash pit stop that you've been talking about. Paul de Resta had to come in for that, but it's very quick and he's out. He spins himself out the pits. I hope that's legal. Didn't look specifically like he should be doing that.
Well, let's wait and see. 10 minutes to go, almost exactly as he comes out. This is going to be what you might call a spirited attack now from Paul di Resta. We'll have a look at what the real gap is at the end of this lap, but obviously Pipo Derani has moved into the lead of the race. We saw the car coming back past the pits as Paul pulled to a stop, wailing its way towards an international podium again. Pipo Derani, our race leader, will be the next car to go by, the number 5 Aston. So 5 and then the 8.
And everything looking set up now for Spirit of Race, a returning team to the Asian Le Mans Series. Everything looking set up for them. They have played the situation as it has evolved in front of them over the last 4 hours.
Well, I'm not going to say very comfortable winners. It's going to be a 30-second gap at the flag, but that doesn't quite tell the whole tale.
No.
That's been a story of, well, triumph over adversity at the start of the race from Spirit of Race. Real speed from, well, let's say all 3 drivers here. Alexander West, let's not forget, this is his first start in an LMP2 car, and he's going to be a winner.
It's a good, reliable pace. We've seen Pipo go faster than this, obviously.
Yes.
He didn't really need to go that fast because of that cumulative build of all 3 drivers coming together. And United Autosports in the end, well, yes, Paul di Resta probably did get a little bit exuberant on that last pit stop, but a second and third, which is what they look to be heading to right now in LMP2, and a finish in LMP3 as well, means that they can literally go and put some points on the board.
Customer teams. We're going now 20 seconds on the clock and onto the final lap of the Agile 4 Hours of Shanghai. It's been gripping. It's been more gripping, I think it's fair to say, because of the twists and turns in the first couple of hours of this race, with 2 of the overall, we would have expected title contenders eliminated from the race. First, the 24 car with Andrea Pizzitola out with a mechanical problem, then that lost wheel for the number 1 car, both while those cars were leading the race. For now, we've got to look forward to this and 3 more chances to watch the talents of Pipo Derani, Spirit of Race, Com Ledegar and Alexander West. They sweep through the final turn. They take the checkered flag to win the 4 hours of final lap now.
Well, that should really be the checkered flag if the timing clock was down to 0. Well, it looks like this is, in fact, the final lap. We're just going to have to check on that now.
The number 8 car then is forced to go around 1 more lap.
And
this might be the longest 4-hour race in history, by the way.
And let's just hope to see that what would really, as you said, these fuel calculations have been down and precise to the meter at times. So if he has to coast over the line, then he has to coast over the line. And this has to now be the final lap.
Well, you just got to hope these cars are actually radio contact and no one's going to lose a position with this. But let's start again. Pipo Derani, Spirit of Race, and together with Alexander West and Com Ledegar, a great race run very professionally by the whole driving team and the squad in the pits to bring the number 8 car home, this time for a win at the Agile 4 Hours of Shanghai. Checkered flag is shown. Under the bridge they come, and to the joy of the Swiss flag but very Italian team with their Swedish, French and Brazilian driver. This is Inter Europol. They will be our LMP3 winners. James Collado brings home the win with Car Guy.
So the drivers back in Parc Fermé and moving up to the podium. It was a tough fight in the LMP2 category. Spirit of Race coming through on top, but a great showing from United Autosports. They'll be looking to build on that for the rest of the season. In the LMP3 class, Inter Europol competition came out with a very good win, and they'll be looking also to build on that for the rest of the season. And in the GT category, a great start for Car Guy, the Japanese team. They'll be looking for more success in the next round in Japan.
Well, started under grey skies after fog early this morning, and then there was drama from the off. Contact between the 22 and the 8 Spirit of Race and the United Autosports car, but Alexander West and Phil Hansen back on the grid. Close contention too in the Porsche Endurance Cup, which joins the Asia Le Mans series here. Modern Motorsports went to the front, stayed at the front. Some dramas late on in the race. In GT, it was close to the two Ferraris staying in the mix. The late addition of the AMG, spectacular, and a spectacular for the wrong reasons. The number 88 Audi falling back into the mix after firing the pit stop cost them a minute. After leading convincingly, 11 car guy Ferrari came to the fore and put smiles on the faces in the Ferrari garage. Contact between the 25 and the 79, and indeed the Panis Barthez car getting involved in that. Bad day for the Jackie Chan DC Racing team. A great battle between Colin Noble and Wayne Boyd in LMP3 that went on for 3 laps, wheel to wheel, nose to tail. Coming through though to take the win would be the 13 Inter Europol team from Poland. A second consecutive win after taking the win last time out in the season finale in Europe. They do the same for the season opener here in Asia. What dramas lie ahead for this little team? Dramas very early on. The early leader, the 24, out with mechanical trouble. Near disaster for the chasing pack. An actual disaster with the lost wheel nut, and then a wheel for another leading car, the number 1 Jackie Chan DC Racing Orica, out of the race on the spot after that. Watch the little grey nut leave the scene. There it goes, and there goes the big black roundy thing to join it. Well, stony faces, but I'm sure joy within. In LMP3, Pipa Durrani came through and built on the fabulous work done by his 2 co-drivers, and it came down to a battle between this car, the 22, Phil Hansen and Paul Di Resta, and the number 8, and ultimately number 22 still under investigation, by the way, for that pit stop exit by Paul Di Resta. So the number 8 managed to do better on strategy, do a little bit better on pace. Pipa Durrani would bring home the number 8 Spirit of Race Ligier for the first win of the first race of the 2018-19 Asia Le Mans Series, the Agile 4 Hours of Shanghai. They'll be delighted with that. The Swiss flag team, with the Swedish, French, Brazilian combo, come home, take the checkered flag to delight from the pit wall. There's the 2 other drivers, there's the crew members. Alexander West, the blonde man on the left-hand side there, Comme Ledegaard with his back to us, will leave Shanghai in a very happy state.
Here are the race results from the Agile 4 Hours of Shanghai. A Spirit of Race topping the LMP2 category ahead of a double from United Autosports. Inter Europol competition taking the LMP3 class. Kargai win the GT category ahead of Spirit of Race, and Medina Motorsports pick up the Endurance Trophy.
Graham said, a very short turnaround before we all get to Fuji. We're expecting you guys to be joining us in the commentary box for that. Of course, Graham Goodwin and myself, Jeevan Selvanathan, will be here for that. Graham, I want to thank you for coming in. Right now, that's about it from us up here at the commentary box. Let's get back down to Nadia.
On behalf of the Asian Le Mans Series team, thank you, and we cannot wait to see you again in round 2 in Fuji, Japan of the Asian Le Mans Series. I'm Nadia Nash. Till then, goodbye.